I want to talk about emotions. And in my mind, I was like, emotions make you cry sometimes. H-Town. I don't know if it has anything to do with going to their concert this past weekend or not, but at any rate, I do want to talk about emotions and getting straight to the point. Emotions, they're feelings, something that comes up based on past experiences. We're triggered by certain situations, and then we tell ourselves a story, or we become attached to the emotion that we feel in the current situation. But the emotion is based on an event that occurred in our childhood. So I want to talk about emotions in a way in which we don't. Emotions, they're there, they're feelings. Yet, what I'm learning and seeing more and more often is that we hold on to our emotions, right? We hold on to the feeling of an emotion and we consume it. We consume it in a way in which we make it our own. We start to claim it as who we are versus the experience that we're having. I'm going to say that again. Emotions. When we experience them or when we feel emotions, we start to hold on to them and consume them and hold on to them in a way in which we are making it and creating it as a part of who we are or who we are versus an experience and what we are simply feeling. We become defined by an emotion. And that, to me, is where a lot of pain, a lot of stress, a lot of tension comes into play. A lot of physical ailments come into play because we hold on to these feelings as though or as if they are who we are. I keep reiterating that because it's profound to me. And what happens with our bodies is we become ill. We become the emotion, then become ill. Energy in, energy out. Now that I have obtained this emotion and now I am holding on to this emotion, if I am angry, anger in and I'm holding on to that, that's what's going out. What's going out is coming back in. So now my life, or things in my life, experiences that I'm encountering, that is the energy that I'm going to be looking for and the energy that I'm going to be receiving. Because I held on to the emotion as though it is who I am versus an experience or a feeling that I am having. So keep that in mind when you are experiencing feelings, people. There's so much more to it, or so many layers to it in regards to identifying patterns and connecting things to your past. There's that piece. And there's the piece where we are responsible as adults right now in this moment to recognize that I am feeling an emotion, but I am not the emotion. It's hard to do, especially when the emotion is flooding us. And in those moments where it's flooding us, take a breath, take a moment to identify it. We kind of either hold on to it like, oh yes, I'm familiar. This is familiar. And I'm going to hold on to what's familiar because I don't want to feel something else that's coming up next. Right? And or that feeling or that emotion, we suppress it. Like, oh, I don't feel that. But you do feel it. And then we ignore it. So there's another way in which we're holding on to it because it's there, but we don't acknowledge it. When we are feeling that flood or the floods of emotions, and it may not just be one emotion. The majority of the people experience multiple emotions. So when we are experiencing that, acknowledge it. Take a moment to really sit with the emotion that you are feeling. There isn't anything wrong with emotions. That's what makes us human. It's a beautiful thing. But it doesn't have to consume you. Emotions are to be regurgitated, decomposed, decompressed. They're not to be held within as if they are you. Again, energy in, energy out. You holding on to that, that is exactly what you're going to see, and that is exactly what you're going to get in your life. What emotions are you feeling? Just start saying them out loud to yourself. Don't even hold it in quietly and speak it to you internally. Say it out loud. Let your mind, yourself, hear it. Saying it out loud releases it. It's another way to do that rather than holding on to it. If you're upset, you're angry, you're sad, you're frustrated, happy, exuberant. I'm not just saying bad emotions either. But just emotions. Share, express what you are feeling. We don't do that. And that's a big part of the mental state that we are in. Because our mind now is leading in our life. When we attach to emotions, our mind is the emotion. And now we are leading with that in life. Rather than leading with the life source that is in us. Which is peace. Which is calm. Which is happiness. Which is love. Which is freedom. Which is liberation. Those are the things that we want to lead with. Not the emotions. Emotions are reactions. Now I have this emotion and now I am reacting. Because I'm consumed by it. Emotions lead to reactions. Versus responses. Acknowledge that you have an emotion that can help with your response to the emotion. That can help with you digesting the emotion. That can ultimately allow somebody else in to help you process the emotion. We don't have to do it alone. That's my tidbit on emotions right now. So much more that I would love to talk about or elaborate on, but I'm just going to let that little bit digest. One, in my own system, and two, hopefully somebody took something from that. I'm out.